Scary true summertime horror stories. Welcome to Trend Nightmare. In this channel, we dive into the darkest corners of reality to bring you the most chilling and disturbing true horror stories. From haunted places and mysterious disappearances to spine-tingling urban legends, we have it all. Tonight, we're sharing 3 terrifying true summertime horror stories that will make you think twice about your next vacation. So, turn off the lights, get comfortable, and prepare to be scared. This is Trend Nightmare. Let's get started. Story 1: The Lake of Shadows. During the summer of 1985, a group of college friends decided to spend their vacation camping by a remote lake in the woods of Maine. The lake, known locally as Lake of Shadows, was rumored to be haunted, but the friends dismissed the stories as mere folklore. The first few days were idyllic, swimming, fishing, and roasting marshmallows by the campfire. On the third night, however, strange things began to happen. As they sat around the fire, one of the friends, Emily, noticed a dark figure standing at the edge of the woods, just beyond the reach of the firelight. She pointed it out, but when the others looked, the figure was gone. The next day, the friends went hiking, only to find strange symbols carved into the trees around their campsite. That night, they heard eerie whispers and footsteps circling their tents. Despite their growing fear, they decided to stay, convinced that it was just their imaginations playing tricks on them. On the 5th night, Emily disappeared. The group searched the entire campsite and surrounding woods but found no trace of her. In a panic, they hiked to the nearest ranger station and reported her missing. A search party was organized, but Emily was never found. Haunted by guilt and fear, the remaining friends left the lake, vowing never to return. Years later, one of them discovered an old newspaper article detailing the lake's dark history. In the 1920s, a series of mysterious disappearances had occurred, all involving young women. The locals believed the lake was cursed, haunted by the spirits of those who had vanished. The Lake of Shadows remains a popular camping spot, but those who visit are warned of its eerie reputation. Some claim to have seen a dark figure lurking in the woods or heard whispers in the night, and the legend of Emily's disappearance continues to terrify those who dare to camp there. Story 2: The Phantom of Pine Ridge. In the summer of 1997, a family vacation turned into a nightmare when they encountered the Phantom of Pine Ridge. The Johnson family had rented a cabin in the secluded Pine Ridge Mountains, hoping for a peaceful getaway. The first few days were perfect, filled with hiking and family bonding. One evening, as they were gathered around the fire pit, a dense fog rolled in, and the air grew cold. Out of the mist, a tall, shadowy figure appeared at the edge of their campsite. The figure stood motionless, watching them. "Mr. Johnson called out, but there was no response. The figure slowly vanished into the fog, leaving the family unnerved. The next night, the same figure appeared, this time closer to the cabin. The family locked the doors and windows, but the sense of being watched persisted. They could hear faint footsteps and whispers outside, but when they looked, there was no one there. Desperate for answers, Mr. Johnson spoke to a local shopkeeper, who told him about the legend of the Phantom of Pine Ridge. According to the story, a hermit who lived in the mountains had died under mysterious circumstances, and his restless spirit now roamed the area, haunting those who stayed in the cabins. That night, the figure appeared again, now right outside the cabin's windows. The family decided to leave immediately. As they drove away, they saw the figure standing in the middle of the road, staring at them with glowing eyes. They sped past it, not looking back until they reached the safety of the town. The Johnsons cut their vacation short and never returned to Pine Ridge. They shared their story with friends and family, who found it hard to believe. Yet, every summer, new reports of encounters with the Phantom of Pine Ridge emerge, adding to the chilling legend. Story 3: The Campfire Ghost. In the summer of 2002, a group of teenagers attended a summer camp in the Adirondack Mountains. The camp was known for its outdoor activities and nightly campfire stories. One night, the camp counselors decided to tell the tale of the campfire ghost. The story was about a camper named Jake who had attended the camp years ago. According to legend, Jake had wandered off into the woods one night and never returned. His ghost was said to haunt the camp, appearing by the campfire to those who stayed up too late. The teenagers laughed it off as just another scary story. However, later that night, as they sat around the dying embers of the campfire, strange things began to happen. The fire, which had been nearly out, suddenly flared up, casting eerie shadows. One of the campers, Sarah, felt a cold hand touch her shoulder, but when she turned, no one was there. The group heard whispers and saw fleeting shadows among the trees. Nervous but skeptical, they dared each other to stay up and see if the ghost would appear. Around midnight, the temperature dropped suddenly, and the campfire extinguished itself. In the darkness, they saw a faint, glowing figure emerging from the woods. The figure moved closer, and they could see it was a young boy, looking lost and forlorn. His appearance matched the description of Jake from the counselor's story. The ghostly boy approached the campfire, his eyes filled with sadness. He opened his mouth as if to speak, but no sound came out. The campers were paralyzed with fear. Just as suddenly as he had appeared, the ghostly boy vanished, and the campfire roared back to life. The teenagers ran back to their cabins, shaken and terrified. They told the counselors what had happened, but their story was met with skepticism. For the rest of the summer, the campers experienced strange occurrences, unexplained noises, cold spots, and fleeting glimpses of a ghostly figure. The legend of the campfire ghost grew, and the story was passed down to each new group of campers. Whether it was a trick of the mind or a true haunting, the tale of Jake's ghost continues to haunt the Adirondack camp to this day. Story 4: The Stranger in the Woods. They decided to turn back, but as they made their way to the campsite, they noticed something strange. Hanging from the trees were small, handmade dolls made from twigs and string, swaying gently in the breeze. None of them remembered seeing these on their way in. A sense of dread washed over them, and they quickened their pace. When they finally reached their campsite, they were horrified to find it completely trashed, tents ripped open, supplies scattered, and the campfire extinguished. They decided to pack up immediately and leave. As they hurriedly gathered their belongings, Sarah spotted a figure standing at the edge of the clearing, just beyond the firelight. It was a woman, her face pale and her eyes hollow, dressed in tattered clothing. She raised a hand as if to beckon them, her mouth opening as if to speak, but no sound came out. Instead, a chilling breeze blew through the trees, and the figure vanished. Terrified, the group abandoned some of their gear and ran to their car, speeding away without looking back. They later learned from locals that a woman had gone missing in those woods years ago, her body never found. Many believed her spirit still roamed the area, crying for help and seeking revenge on those who dared to enter her domain. Sarah and her friends never went camping again, and the memory of that haunted weekend remained etched in their minds. The story of the stranger in the woods became a local legend, warning others to steer clear of Cedar Creek. Thank you for watching Trend Nightmare. If you enjoyed these terrifying tales, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a spine-chilling story. Have a scary story of your own? Share it in the comments below, we love hearing from you. Until next time, stay safe and remember to always watch your back. Sweet dreams.